So ever since the Mac Studio dropped, people have been talking about it not being repairable and not being upgradable. In this video, I want to talk about whether or not Apple is on the right side doing what they're doing, or whether or not anything should change. So let's get into it. So about a year ago, Apple announced that they will be shifting their computers, or the Mac lineup, into their own built-in house SoC and no longer use the Intel or AMD chips. Since then, they have dropped a variety of computers with the new SoC built-in house, and there are different varieties of that as well. But as a family, they're called the M1 chip, at least right now. Now, what Apple did was basically just take the ARM architecture that they have been putting in your phones for a long time, in their iPhones, and build a more powerful version of that and put it in the computers. The result of it was an extremely powerful and power efficient machine that had the best performance among all of the computers in that form factor. I mean mainly mini computers and laptops. And also it didn't need a fusion reactor to power it up and was also cool all the time. The problem with it though was the upgradability and repairability. See, the M1 chip has an all-in-one architecture. It means that the RAM, the graphics chip, the CPU, and everything are all built together in one simple chip. So there's one chip and that includes everything. There's no modularity in that, right? If any part of that system gets hurt, there's no way to repair any part of it. You just have to toss your computer out and get a new one. And also, if you wanted to upgrade your RAM on your computer, which is a very common thing amongst PC and Mac users, you can no longer do it. So you either have to get a new computer or just buy the best computer initially, so you never have to upgrade. But for that trade-off, what you get is the efficiency and the performance I just mentioned. But recently, Apple dropped an entirely new Mac called the Mac Studio, which is literally just two Mac minis stacked on the top of each other, and it even uses two M1 Max chips just fused together. Now this product, and what we've seen from it, led us to understand the M1 chip a little bit better. First of all, I gotta say that this new Mac Studio is so hard to open that some YouTubers, some of the most famous YouTubers, thought it was even impossible to open it up. But despite how hard it is to open, YouTuber Miani managed to open this computer up, and he found out that the SSD on this computer can't be upgraded. It's unupgradable even though it can be removed and it's not baked into the motherboard. So literally it's an SSD module that you can remove but you cannot upgrade. He tried pretty much everything. He even opened up two Mac Studios, one with more hard drive, and swapped the SSDs on those, and the Mac Studio with initial lower amount of SSD didn't want to accept the new SSD from the higher spec Mac and didn't want to turn on. On his follow-up video, he found out that the SSD controller chip of the hard drives is not in the module itself, but it's located somewhere else. He also mentioned that it is possible to swap the SSDs of two Mac Studios if they both have the same amount of storage. So just the upgrading is impossible. Now, the way I see it, there are two main possibilities of what Apple could have done based on all this evidence that we got. The first possibility is that the SSD controller has been locked by Apple on a software framework level just to avoid upgrading the SSD, which I think is unlikely. Why? Because knowing Apple, they would have also made it impossible to swap at all for privacy issues. So I think it's unlikely that that's what Apple has done here. The second, more likely explanation is that the controller of this SSD, which we don't know where it is located, it could be baked into the motherboard, is drive specific and only works with a specific model of a specific SSD within a specific amount of storage. Now, the second case doesn't make Apple look as bad as the first case, because theoretically, even though they don't sell the modules, you could swap the SSD module with another one of the same capacity just for repairing. Okay, so it is theoretically repairable even though they don't sell the SSD module. So this is also pretty bad. Look, I thought about it a lot. I was trying to defend Apple and I couldn't come up with an explanation of why you would separate an SSD storage unit from its controller just to put it somewhere else, other than wanting to charge people more money for higher storage. So literally just money. Look, I don't even care about the main memory not being upgradable. My main issue with an $8,000 machine of this capacity is that it doesn't have a regular M.2 slot where I can buy a damn SSD off of Amazon and put it in there and it works. Okay? That is my main issue with this Mac Studio. And that machine can cost up to $8,000. I mean, what I'm asking for here is stuff you find on a $500 PS5. and it's not on the $8,000 Apple machine. I mean, this behavior is just not okay. Now, they could argue that this machine wasn't designed or advertised to be modularizable or upgradable by any means. But the fact that not even the storage on this machine is upgradable by any chance makes this product not worth its price. It can cost up to $8,000. Yeah, you would get 8 terabytes of storage on that machine, but what if I want 16? What if I want more? There is no chance of upgrading it. You get what I mean? Look, at the end, charging $8,000 for a machine that is not upgradable by any mean in any scale is absolutely absurd. And I hope Apple doesn't make the same mistake when they come out with the Mac Pro with Apple-owned SoC. Whatever they want to call it. M1, M2, M1 Ultra, M1 Ultra Pro Max, whatever, I don't know. Whatever the chip wants to be, I hope it is modularizable as a Mac Pro is right now. I think Apple should stop this behavior. I don't see them changing at all, but I choose to keep my hope. This is Algorithmy of the Smurf Squad. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, share it with your friends and like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. I'm out.